We expect this to be.
Good morning. The ECOWAS WAMA.
I'm excited, and I hope you all too are excited to be a part of this occasion.
Bring together ECOWAS WAMA and to advance discussion on simple currency of West Africa.
This is the 52nd meeting of the Committee of Governors of Central Banks of the West African Monetary Zone, and we like to welcome you. Since those who will be recognized are not here on my listing, I want to take this time now to welcome my colleagues in the print and electronic media. Gentlemen and ladies, welcome. How come I mentioned the press and the phone went off? I hope the press is not behind this. All right, so I must say that we want to welcome also members of the Fourth Estate to this occasion. We hope you had a pleasant night's rest. The microphone seems to be acting up a little bit, so will the handlers of this try to take note and try to correct it. It's breaking in every now and then.
Statutory meetings, as you know, the central bank of host country, host bank, host country, and this event, so from the 4th to the 13th of February, it is actually the 12th February, so obviously tomorrow the grand ceremony will be held here.
Okay. What is convening here is not only the 52nd meeting, but it is, we also convening meetings of the various regional organizations, and that's why it is called the Joint ECOWAS WAMS meeting here in Monrovia. We hope you, so far, are enjoying the facilities here in Habel or in Monrovia. Thankfully, the sun is not too hot. It was very hot yesterday. Today is a little bit cool, and hopefully you are enjoying yourself. If this is your first time coming to Liberia, we want to say welcome to this land of liberty and hospitality. And so far, we hope you are enjoying your stay. After this session, there will be a tea break. And following the tea break, the different groupings will go into their own sessions. But this is a formal opening, and that will take us up to tea break. And in this opening session, we have welcome address, and that will be delivered by the governor of the host country, Governor Samoa. We'll also have remarks from the Director General of WAMA, the Director General of WAMI, the Director General of WAIFEM, Commissioner for Economic Affairs and Agriculture, and ECOWAS Commission. We'll also have an opening statement by the Chairman, Committee of Governors of WAMA, And there will also be an opening statement by the Chairman, Committee of Governors of WAMS, and opening statements by the Chairman of the Board of Governors of WAIFEM. And after that, the Post Governor will formally declare this session formally open, after which we'll take a tea break. That's the lineup as it looks here, and shortly we will be getting it started.
This is a vision on TV coming to you live from the Berekasa Hotel, where you see some of the governors from different states. They are here to grace this occasion. So first we want to say welcome to Vision on TV. We are here coming to you live from the Berekasa Hotel, where today different international partners are here to grace this occasion. Is the WAMA statutory meeting here in part of our country in Berekasa, the hotel here, where so we are here bringing you this live coverage. We want to say share our live broadcast wherever you're watching from this afternoon or this morning, this evening. We await the central bank governor and that of the Nigeria governor as well, so we can get started with this entire program. So first we want to say welcome to our platform here this afternoon or this morning, wherever you are watching it from this afternoon or this morning. So welcome. This is Vision on TV coming to you live from the Berekasa Hotel. So the governor of the Central Bank of the Republic of Liberia is expected, so we can get the program started. Our guests here waiting on the arrival of the Central Bank governor. Minister for Development Plan in conversation.
that was supposed to be legal, remember us? So this road is fine. So in the
hello. Your attention, please. Your attention, please. Hello. Can you hear me? Now I've been informed that the front rows here are for the dignitaries. The front row here is for the dignitaries. So would you respectfully please leave the front row and relocate to another position? But the front rows actually are for the dignitaries. Protocol has asked me to let you know. Please, the front rows here are for the dignitaries. And they will soon be coming in. That's by directive of the protocol, please. Okay, so there is an update to that announcement. We've been informed now by the protocol that it is okay. They've made other alternative arrangements to accommodate that part of it. So we apologize for any inconvenience that announcement may have caused you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we just about to announce the arrival of the dignitaries into the hall. And as per our earlier request, we'll ask that you kindly rise to your feet as they enter the hall. We'll appreciate it, but we'll let you know just as they are entering the hall. I'm not too happy with the apples. So the folks who have set this up, please listen, and if you can give us a better apple than what is being provided now, we'll really appreciate it. It sounds kind of dull. It doesn't sound convincing. So please try to help. Let's make it sound much better than this. Okay, let's try this. This is sounding a lot better.
From so we go back. Everybody can look at me take this Yeah, just wait.
Okay, 1, 2. Getting there.
For now, we will see the central bank governor working with other governors in different African countries. So they are here to grace this occasion. I want to say welcome to our platform. Here we are live at the FARMINGTON Hotel, where we are coming to you live from.
Thanks very much. We appreciate your patience. But we're getting there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please let's welcome the governors. And as they arrive, please let's put our hands together, give them a round of applause. Thank you very much. You may be seated, please. Thank you. We want to say good morning once again and welcome to Farmington. We want to recognize some dignitaries with us here this morning. Let's start with the Director General for WAMA, Honorable WAMA Kamara, and please, as we call names, please give them a round of applause. DG for WAMA, Honorable WAMA Kamara. We also have in the hall the Director General for WAIFEM, Dr. Baba Musa. Let's give her a hand, please. The Director General for WAMI is Dr. Abdul Salem Adebabi. Let's give him another round of applause, please. There are equally other important dignitaries in here. Members of Parliament from Ghana are also here. Let's give them a big hand. And we have representatives of Parliament, rather representatives of the President of the ECOWAS Commission. Please give them another round of applause. The technical committee members of other institutions like WAMA, WAMI, and WAIFEM are also here. Let's give it up for them as well. We saved the best for last, so don't think that I forgot the governors. But let's give it up for our development partners, representatives of other regional and international institutions. Let's give them another round of applause. And they are the AFDB, AACB, EBIT, African Bank, UMOA, hope I got that pronunciation correct. And let's give it up for them, please. And then we have representatives from the various government ministries, departments, and agencies here also present. Another round of applause. And before we get to the best for the last, let's welcome members of other central banks, officials of other central banks who are here. Welcome to this hall. And let's now put our hands together, ladies and gentlemen, as we welcome the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Amini Caruso. It's a pleasure to have you visit Liberia. Welcome. We also have representing the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Adib Asiama. He's represented by the Second Deputy Governor, Mrs. Malteda Asante Asiedu. Let's give her a big round of applause. Then also here is the Governor of the Central Bank of Sierra Leone, and he is Dr. Ibrahim L. Stevens. Let's give him a big round. The Bank of the Republic of Guinea is represented by Honorable Mohamed Lamine Conte, First Deputy Governor. He's here to give a round of applause. And then we have the Governor of the Bank of the African States, Dr. James Cross Kasi Wall. The President of the ECOWAS Commission is represented by Khalil Sila, who is the Commissioner of Economic Affairs and Agriculture. Please give him a round of applause. If we miss out any official that was not deliberate or intentional, sometimes we need to think things happen, but we also want to welcome you into this hall. And let's give ourselves another round of applause. Now that I've cleared all of those little beginning protocols, I'd like to now welcome the host governor of this event. I don't think you want to explain it when you're president governor. So let's keep it as the governor, executive governor of the Central Bank of Liberia. Let's give Mr. Henry Sama a round of applause as he welcomes in us. Okay, the Second Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of the Gambia is also here. Sir, please forgive the error. Let's welcome him as well. So now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome the Executive Governor of the Central Bank of Liberia, who is the host governor, for his welcome address. Mr. Governor.
Thank you, Mr. Badio, and good morning. Honorable Chairman, esteemed members of the Committee of Governors, members of Parliament of the Sub-Region here present with us, the representative of the President of the ECOWAS Commission, Director Generals of WAMA, WAMI, and WAIFEM, representative of the President of the WAMA Commission, representatives of other regional and international organizations, representatives of ministries, departments, and agencies, distinguished delegates, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It is with profound honor and a deep sense of responsibility that I welcome you, distinguished dignitaries, to this historic joint opening ceremony of the 67th Ordinary Meeting of the Committee of Governors of the Central Banks of ECOWAS member states, the 52nd meeting of the Committee of Governors of the West African Monetary Zone, and the 50th meeting of the Board of Governors of the West African Institute for Financial and Economic Management. Today, as we gather under the banner of regional cooperation and shared destiny, we reaffirm our collective commitment to building a resilient, integrated, and prosperous West Africa. We gather here not only as technocrats and policymakers, but as custodians of a vision, one that seeks to bind our nations together, prosperity, resilience, and a shared destiny as envisioned by our forebears. As we gather in the capital city of the Republic of Liberia, Africa's oldest republic, and one of the torchbearers of African unity, we, on behalf of the President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Joe Sr., the government and people of Liberia, warmly welcome you to this historic city of Monrovia, a city named after James Monroe, the 5th President of the United States of America, reflecting the long years of historical ties between Liberia and the U.S. We also, on behalf of the Central Bank family, extend our warm greetings and sincere appreciation for our fellow governors and distinguished members of the various delegations who have traveled from within and beyond our sub-region to convene in Monrovia. For Liberia, President Ouattara reaffirms that hosting these landmark days is both a privilege and a responsibility. I quote, "We stand ready to contribute meaningfully to the discourse and to the decisions that will shape the financial future of our region, recognizing that our collective strength lies not in isolation, but in solidarity." End quote. Today, as we gather in Monrovia, we reaffirm our collective commitment to building a stronger, more resilient, and more integrated West Africa. These meetings are not merely statutory obligations. They are milestones in our shared journey towards monetary cooperation, financial stability, and the long-standing aspiration of the single regional currency. Our gathering is not merely ceremonial. It is a testament to the enduring vision of our forebears who believe in the power of unity. As former ECOWAS Secretary General Dr. Abbas Bondu once remarked, quote, "Regional integration is not an option for West Africa. It is an imperative for survival in a globalized world." His words remind us that our unity is not simply desirable, it is essential. Similarly, Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, declared decades ago, quote, "The forces that unite us are intrinsic and more than the superimposed influences that divide us." This timeless wisdom continues to guide our efforts today as we strive to overcome national barriers in pursuit of collective prosperity, as well as remind us that our economic and monetary collaboration is not optional but essential. Our institutions, WAMA, WAMI, and WAIFEM, are and remain the pillars upon which this vision rests. They provide technical expertise, policy frameworks, and capacity building initiatives that enable us to move forward. As former Senegalese President Macky Sall noted in his call for deeper cooperation, quote, "Africa must speak with one voice in the global financial system if we are to be heard and respected." These institutions embody our determination to harmonize monetary policies, strengthen financial systems, and build capacity across member states. In doing so, we are laying the foundation for a common destiny. Mr. Chairman, honorable governors, members of parliament, distinguished guests, we convene at a time of numerous challenges and opportunities. Global economic uncertainties, climate shocks, and technological disruptions are tests to our resilience. Yet within these challenges lie opportunities to innovate, to deepen intra-regional trade, and to harness digital finance for inclusive growth. Our dream of a unified monetary zone may be ambitious, but it is achievable if pursued with courage, discipline, and vision. Others have done it, so too can we. Today, the numbers we see are telling a sobering story. Global growth is still at 3.3% in 2025 and will likely remain unchanged in the medium term. This performance reflects the balancing of divergent global factors, including shifting trade policies, geopolitical tensions, accommodative financing conditions, and increasing investments in technology. While global inflation is trending downwards from 5.8% in 2024 to a projected 4.1% and 3.8% in 2025 and 2026, significant vulnerabilities still exist. Advanced economies continue to wrestle with service sector inflation and wage pressures, while many of our own economies face the dual challenges of currency depreciation and fuel price volatility. The apparent easing of global financial conditions, including a weaker US dollar, provides some relief, but conceals underlying risks of sudden market adjustments that could rapidly destabilize capital flow to our region. Yet against these challenges, we are proud to say that our region has demonstrated remarkable resilience. ECOWAS economies grew by 4.5% in 2025, stronger than 4.4% in 2024, and with a projected 5% growth in 2026. This remarkable performance relative to global trends is no accident. It reflects deliberate policy choices, improved coordination among our central banks and relevant authorities, and the reform efforts that many of our member states have undertaken despite difficult domestic circumstances. Honorable governors, one of our most significant achievements is contained inflation. The regional inflation has fallen from 23.3% in 2024 to 16.8% in 2025, with further moderation expected in 2026. While these figures remain above our regional convergence target, the trajectory is encouraging and reflects the effectiveness of coordinated monetary policies across our member states. Each of our central banks has adopted and tailored monetary policy to national circumstances while maintaining alignment with our regional objectives. This differentiated yet coordinated approach has allowed us to address inflation while supporting economic recovery, a delicate balance that requires continuous vigilance and frequent consultations among ourselves and our fiscal counterparts. The spectrum on the broader monetary landscape has shown that exchange rate stability has improved across most of our jurisdictions, especially external reserves have strengthened and financial systems have generally remained sound. These are not merely technical achievements. They represent restored confidence, improved living standards for our citizens, and a more favorable environment for the private sector investment that our economies need. Honorable Governors, fiscal performance across our sub-regions has also improved. The consolidated fiscal deficit narrowed to 3.1% of GDP in 2025 from 4.8% in 2024, with continued improvements expected in 2026, bringing us significantly closer to our 3% convergence criteria. Enhanced revenue mobilization has been key, driven by stronger tax administration, improved customs performance, and better non-tax revenue collection, demonstrating our domestic revenue mobilization strategies and policies, demonstrating that our domestic revenue mobilization strategies and policies are working. We need to stay this course. Having said that, we must note that expenditure pressures remain intense across our member states. Recurring spending continues to absorb a large share of budgets, leaving limited space for our infrastructure and social investments that our economies require. This is a structural challenge that will require sustained attention and, in some cases, difficult political choices about expenditure priorities and revenue enhancement. Our debt metrics show cautious improvement. The regional debt to GDP ratio is expected to decline to 42.3% in 2025, reflecting GDP growth and more prudent debt management. Nevertheless, debt service obligations remain burdensome for several member states, and we must remain committed to prioritizing concessional financing and enhancing debt transparency. External sector performance remains a source of strength. Export growth of 17.51% significantly outpaced import growth of 6.94%, contributing to a regional current account surplus of 3.5% of GDP. Commodity exports, particularly those in cocoa, have performed well, and this has supported reserve accumulation across the region. Most member states now maintain reserves above 3 months of input cover, meeting our convergence benchmark. Some countries have implemented innovative approaches such as gold reserve accumulation programs to bolster their reserves position. These improvements in external buffers provide important safeguards against potential external shocks, demonstrating our commitment to macroeconomic resilience. On convergence performance, the progress is noteworthy. 4 member states were expected to meet all 4 primary criteria in 2025, doubling the number for 2024. While 5 member states were estimated to meet 3 primary criteria, 2 member states to meet 2 primary criteria, and 1 member state meeting 1 primary criteria. These are not just mere statistics. They represent real progress towards macroeconomic stability that will underpin our monetary union. Mr. Chairman, Honorable Governors, distinguished delegates, allow me briefly to update you on Liberia's economic performance and our contributions to the regional integration efforts. Liberia's economy was estimated to grow by 5.1% in 2025 from 4% in 2024, exceeding both our regional average and global growth trends. The Liberian industrial sector has also shown strength, particularly in mining, where iron ore and gold exports have performed robustly, recording a 17% growth in 2025 from 2.1% in 2024. On inflation, we were faced with some challenges at the inception of 2025, but policy coordination with the fiscal authorities helped to moderate inflation in the second half of the year. Average inflation in 2025 stood at 8.5%, marginally above 8.3% in 2024, and stayed above 5% convergence target. Non-food inflation has been particularly persistent, though food inflation declined significantly to 5.5% in June 2025, from 11.6% in June 2024, reflecting improved domestic food supply. Consequently, inflation averaged 4.4% in the last quarter of 2025, with end period inflation at 4%. The Central Bank of Liberia has maintained a tight monetary policy stance, which has partly contributed to the easing of inflationary pressure. Accordingly, the Monetary Policy Committee reduced the policy rate from 20% at the end of June 2024 to 17.25% in April 2025, and further to 16.25% in October 2025 to support credit expansion and economic activity. At its first quarter sitting in 2026, the committee maintained the monetary policy rate at 16.25% with the aim of managing potential inflation expectations. Fellow governors, we are pleased to highlight the fiscal performance strengthened in 2025 due to improved revenue mobilization and disciplined expenditure measures. Total government revenue and grants rose by 18.6% in the first half of 2025, enabling Liberia to achieve a balanced budget well within the 3% of ECOWAS threshold. The stock of public debt was estimated to decline to 54.2% of GDP, further strengthening compliance with the ECOWAS convergence benchmark. These ratios, deficit to GDP and debt to GDP, places Liberia amongst the best performing budget deficit and debt sustainability countries of the convergence criteria. Liberia's external sector performance was also robust in 2025. Exports rose by 10%, gross external reserves increased by $101 million to $575 million. The net international reserves surpassed the annual target of $266 billion by almost $16 billion at the end of 2025 from the $234 million recorded in 2024. The Liberian dollar depreciated by only 0.9% against the US dollar, complying with the ECOWAS secondary criteria of plus or minus 10% exchange rate variation. However, on an end-period basis, the Liberian dollar appreciated by 3.2% compared to December 2024. The banking system remains sound and stable. Capital adequacy ratios and liquidity ratios stood at 37.9% and 50.1% respectively, far above the minimum regulatory threshold. Non-performing loans declined from 17.9% at end December 2024 to 12.58% at end December 2025, manifesting targeted measures by the CBL to improve asset quality and unlock credit to the private sector, which we deem the engine of growth. On the convergence front, Liberia met 4 of the 6 convergence criteria, 2 of the 4 primary criteria, and all of the secondary criteria. We are making substantial progress to bring inflation down to the regional benchmark of almost 5% in the medium term. Honorable Governors, being mindful of our progress, we cannot rest on our laurels as significant challenges still remain. First, achieving the inflation criteria will require sustained monetary discipline, continued coordination among our central banks, and supportive fiscal policies considering the complementary role of fiscal and monetary policies. Second, fiscal deficits in many member states remain above target, despite recent improvements. The pressures are real as the demand for public services, infrastructure needs, and social programs compete for limited resources. We must find ways to enhance revenue mobilization, improve expenditure efficiency, and create fiscal space for productive investments. Third, debt sustainability concerns persist. While regional debt ratios have improved, several member states face heavy debt service burdens. We must continue prioritizing concessional financing, improving debt management capacity, and enhancing transparency of our debt obligations. Fourth, external vulnerabilities remain. Our economies are heavily dependent on processed commodity exports. We remain exposed to price shocks and global demand fluctuations. Building external buffers and diversifying our economies must remain priorities. Distinguished delegates, on all the institutional preparations for our monetary union, we have been reliably informed about the achievements of significant milestones. While the Central Bank of West Africa capital requirement of US $187 million and reserve pooling arrangement of US $4.5 billion have been determined and approved, the Monetary Union Agreement and the Central Bank of West Africa statutes are ready for adoption. The legal framework of the ECOWAS Solidarity and Stabilization Fund with US $1.252 billion in capital is also ready for adoption. Our monetary policy framework based on inflation targeting is also substantially complete. However, we are still confronted by critical bottlenecks that have implications for the 2027 timeline for the launch of our single currency, the euro. After several years of discussions, we have not agreed on the host country of the Central Bank of West Africa headquarters. This is a matter of concern and urgency, as it may affect institutional planning and the operational readiness of our future central bank. Similarly, the implementation of the ECOWAS payment and settlement system has been delayed due to funding constraints, coupled with a pending decision on the selection of the host country for the EPSS. Thus, we are advancing our advisory for political commitment to mobilize the necessary resources. Just as we are prioritizing the enhancement and strengthening of our respective national payments infrastructures, we should prioritize the EPSS too. The EPSS can unlock a lot of opportunities for inter-regional trade and strengthen monetary union in our member states. Given these institutional bottlenecks, combined with the macroeconomic convergence gaps, we must be realistic about our timeline and strategy for the single currency project while remaining committed to our ultimate objective. The pursuit of a single currency within ECOWAS has been a long-standing dream. As Nigeria's former President Olusegun Obasanjo once emphasized, quote, economic integration is the surest path to political stability and sustainable development in West Africa, end quote. His conviction underscores the importance of our work here to harmonize monetary policies, strengthen financial institutions, and ensure that our economies can withstand global shocks. Honorable Governors, the people of West Africa are watching us. They have entrusted us with the responsibility of managing their currencies, maintaining price stability, and supporting economic growth. They expect us to deliver on the promises of regional integration, not through rhetoric, but through concrete actions that improve their lives and livelihoods. Our mandate is clear, Honorable Governors. We're here to harmonize monetary policies, strengthen financial systems, and build capacity across our member states. But beyond the technical language lies a deeper purpose, the creation of a West Africa that is economically integrated, financially stable, and socially inclusive. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo also once said, we must not only integrate our economies, but also our hearts and minds. For integration without solidarity is halt. End quote. Let us take these words to heart. For without solidarity, our convergence criteria are just numbers. With solidarity, they become the foundation of transformation. So, the key question that we need to grapple with today, Honorable Governors, is, do we need to take a look at our strategy towards the single currency program? What lessons can we learn from other monetary unions? We have BCL. I think BCL is one union that we can look to in achieving our trade. As we bring this welcome statement to a close, we urge all of us to approach these deliberations with renewed vigor, guided by the wisdom of our leaders, past and present, and the aspirations of our people. Let us ensure that when history looks back on this moment, it will say that West Africa chose cooperation over fragmentation, resilience over vulnerability, and unity over division. As Nelson Mandela once said, when he spoke for all of Africa, it always seems impossible until it is done. Our work here today proves that it is possible. It is within our grasp. Honorable Chairman, Honorable Governors, Members of Parliament, distinguished guests, welcome and thank you for your attention.
The single day, Liberia governor who just spoke on this program. So this is Vision TV.
Thank you very much. And we want to equally recognize one or two other important guests. Mr. James Wilfred. Mr. James Wilfred is the Deputy Governor for Operations at the Central Bank of Liberia. Please give it up for Mr. Wilfred. We also want to recognize Dr. Musa Dukle, the Deputy Governor for Economic Policy at the Central Bank of Liberia. And Dr. Mohammed Saleh Abdullahi, he is the Deputy Governor for Economic Policy at the Central Bank of Nigeria. So we're going into more remarks, and right now we are pleased to welcome the Director General of WAMA. He's our own Honorable WAIFEM Kamara. Let's welcome Dr. Kamara, please. Dr. Kamara.
So, Kamara is the Director General of WAMA.
F. Samoa, Governor de la Banque Centrale du Liberia, pour les réunions statutaires de fin d'année Depuis 25 Monsieur le représentant du gouvernement de la Banque centrale de Gambie, le président du comité des governeurs, Monsieur le commissaire au centre économique et à la compte de la commission de la CDAO. Chers présidents et membres du comité technique conjoint, directeur général de l'IMAO et du WAIFEM, représentant de la commission de l'UMAO, représentant de la commission de l'Union africaine, monsieur le secrétaire exécutif de l'association Banque centrale africaine, chers délégués des banques centrales du ministère des Finances de cet État, même de la CDAO, représentants des institutions régionales et internationales, distingués invités, mesdames et messieurs. I extend warm New Year greetings and best wishes for good health and wisdom as we convene at this critical juncture in our journey towards monetary integration. It is an honor to address this honorable committee of governors and invited to come and welcome you to Monrovia, Liberia, under the gracious and generous hosting of the government of Liberia under the dynamic and astute leadership of the father of this nation, His Excellency Joseph Numa Boyka, President, Republic of Liberia, through the joint coordination of the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning and the Central Bank of Liberia. Sincere thanks and appreciation go to the Minister, Honorable Augustine Kuehekafwa, Senior Management Staff of MFDP, and the Executive Governor, Henry F. Samoa, Senior Management Staff, CBL, for the warm reception and hospitality accorded the various delegations and the excellent facilities placed at our disposal. We are meeting at a time when the aspiration of the single currency has moved beyond vision into the realm requiring bold and smart decision making. The year has come and gone since I assumed office as Director General of WAMA in January 2025, an excitement that I approach daily with deep sense of humility and duty, fully conscious that the period ahead represents another decisive phase, the ECOWAS Monetary Cooperation Program, a period asking ourselves the hard questions and taking stock as to whether the necessary and sufficient other conditions as laid out in the 2021 revised ECOWAS roadmap for the launch of the ECO in 2027 have been met. Allow me to express my sincere appreciation to the Chairman, Mr. Boasi, Governor of the Central Bank of the Gambia, and the honorable members of the Committee of Governors for your consistent oversight, strategic guidance, and steadfast support to WAMA over the past year. I also acknowledge the close collaboration with sister regional institutions, notably the ECOWAS Commission, WAMI, WAIFEM, and EDIC, whose partnership remains essential as we endeavor to draw down the curtain on the convergence phase and transition to the stability phase, a path carved out for the launch of the ECO. Mr. Chair, Honorable Governors, the path towards convergence and the eventual launch of the ECO is undeniably demanding and daunting, but not insurmountable, particularly in the global environment characterized by policy uncertainty, rising geoeconomic fragmentation, the assistant trade-related shocks, while regional withdrawal of 3 member states in 2025 from ECOWAS further added another layer of complications for regional integration and the attainment of monetary union. At the global and regional front, global growth continued to moderate while advanced economies remain subdued. Sub-Saharan Africa, however, has demonstrated resilience, supported by sustained macroeconomic stabilization and reform efforts. The ECOWAS region is projected to report improved growth performance across member states. These developments reaffirm a fundamental truth: the success of the effort will depend not only on favorable growth rates or prospects, but more importantly, on sustained macroeconomic performance, credible, time-consistent policies, political stability, strong institutions, development of solid regional financial market infrastructure, and strong public support for the currency and the institutions that will govern it, that is the Central Bank of West Africa. Honorable governors, the implementation of some of the roadmap activities have experienced notable delays prior to 2025. On account of this, the past year, WAMA focused on accelerated delivery within the scope of its mandate, deploying all available legal and financial resources to strengthen the momentum. Progress has been recorded in several areas, particularly the preparation of the monetary union agreement and the statute of the Central Bank of West Africa, the drafting of the legal framework for the ECOWAS Solidarity and Stabilization Fund, the revision of the study on the capital and reserve structure of the future central bank, and concluding the diagnostic study on current and capital common liberalization practices across member states. These deliverables signal a transition from conceptual design to institutional building, a phase that requires firm political will and support as well as standard endorsement at the highest level. As we draw closer to the 2027 launch date, the issues before us, they are increasingly requiring strategic direction and timely action to accelerate the implementation of the roadmap activities. Deepening and accelerating work from the start of the ECOWAS exchange rate mechanism, including the evaluation of readiness for participation by member states, given that this shall commence 2024 as a way of better understanding exchange rate dynamic across member states before the launch of the effort, including to the extent we are seeking and continue to make every effort to conclude the study on the liberalization of the capital accounts and the subsequent drafting of the harmonized legal regional framework that will lead to subsequent attendant adaptation plan, and finalizing the report on the methodology for determining the unit of account and value of the ECO will serve as fund burners activities for the work program of WAMA during the year 2026. Equally critical is working as sequence to move quickly with the implementation of the ECOWAS payments and settlement system project, which remains a cornerstone for regional financial integration and improvement in intra-trade. However, distinguished and esteemed governors, I want to point out that the EPSS project continues to face significant delays arising from the inadequate funding for the infrastructure, that is the real-time gross settlement system, and the AFDB's procurement constraints. We seek your timely intervention. Moreover, financial stability considerations should be addressed in parallel with the design of monetary arrangements. The credibility of the ECO will depend on the existence of effective regional safety nets, including the ECOWAS Monetary Cooperation Fund, the ECOWAS Solidarity and Stabilization Fund, and the ECOWAS Deposit Guarantee Scheme, supported by clear legal mandates and operational readiness. WAMA commits to working very hard this year to bring these building blocks to the level required for validation, approval, and adoption with your support and guidance. In line with the directive of this Committee of Governors, WAMA undertook internal reforms to strengthen governance, accountability, staff performance, and operational readiness during this most important phase of the ECOWAS Monetary Cooperation Program. Strategic partnerships with key international institutions, including the African Development Bank, World Bank, and the International Monetary Fund, have been strengthened to help provide technical and financial assistance, capacity building, and institutional development critical to the launch of the expo. We particularly appreciate the AFDB's financial support to the EPSS infrastructure project, which has advanced the hiring of consultants and its support for the development of WAMA database infrastructure. We want to acknowledge the IMF technical assistance support to WAMA in the ongoing current and capital account legalization diagnostic study in developing an ECOWAS harmonized legal framework. Honorable Governors, in more concrete terms relative to operational and administrative development at WAMA, bearing in mind the need to improve oversight and management, and a conducive, cordial, and harmonious working environment, the following key reforms were instituted based on your directives. Weekly senior management meeting and monthly staff general meeting, realign the individual conditions of service of 2010 to bring it in sync with decisions taken by the Committee of Governors post-2010, install biometric staff log IT system, drafted a business continuity plan which is being prepared for submission at the next statutory meeting for your consideration, completed renovation work on DG's residence, and this I must pause to say a big thank you to the Chairman and the Committee of Governors for your support that I find myself and family in a home befitting the Director General. We upgraded the WAMA's conference hall with needed IT equipment for hosting of seminars and workshops, as well as virtual meetings, and introduced solar electrification for WAMA's office building and the residence of the Director General. Notwithstanding the progress being made, WAMA faced some challenges during 2025, including budget cuts and other funding of the budget due to non-payment of capital readiness contribution to the 2025 approved budget, which impacted budget performance. A key main risk continues to exist, especially within the legal unit. We are drawing the attention of the Committee of Governors to these matters, believing that together we can find lasting solutions. Distinguished Chairman and esteemed Governors of the Committee of Governors, the launch of the ECO is no longer a distant ambition. It is now a defining test of our collective resolve to deliver an integrated, stable, and prosperous people. To this end, the decision we take, the discipline we uphold, and the unity we demonstrate will determine the credibility and success of this historic and transformative endeavor. I am convinced that under your leadership and direction, the community can rise to the challenge, and WAMA stands ready to continue serving as the technical agency supporting the required legal reforms, development of regional framework for financial market infrastructure, and the institutional preparedness needed as we move towards the launch date. On this note, we pray that the Almighty God will continue to bless the works of our hands, for in which we say, except the Lord builds the house, the builder that builds in vain. And except he watches over the city, the watchman doing so watches, but in vain. Long live the ECOWAS Military Cooperation Program. Long live the ECOWAS. Long live the people of West Africa as we aspire by West Africa where peace and prosperity prevail for all citizens. Merci beaucoup. Mucho obrigado. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much,
Director General for WAMA.
When you started speaking French, I was wondering, what does that mean? And then I couldn't forget how to speak English. So I'm happy that you came back into speaking English. Thanks very much. We want to recognize the presence of the Deputy Minister for Economic Management and Finance and Understanding here in Liberia, Honorable W.Y. Zoor. Mr. Zoor, welcome to the forum. We will continue with our remarks as we invite Dr. Abdul Salim Abedimi. He is also Deputy Governor for Economic Policy of the Bank of. This is what happens when you actually mix some of the most powerful men and women of our country in this region. So it gave them a clue over that. We want to invite to the podium Dr. Abdul Salim Abedimi. He is the Director General of WAMI. I got it right this time. Let's get a round of applause.
Thank you, UNC. Initially, I want to say, before this topic, thank God, the committee, the Nancy Fanny, and the main the chairs of governors of the central bank, WAIFEM, WAMI, WAMA, foreign governors of the central bank of the United States, deputy governors of the Central Bank of the United States, the representative of the President of the Economic Commission, Director General of WAMA, WAIFEM, representative of partners, organization, distinguished delegates, good morning, honorable governors, and honorable organization. It is my great honor and privilege to welcome you to today's joint opening ceremony. Bringing together WAMI, WAMA, and WAIFEM as we commence the meeting of the Council of Governors of the Central Bank of the United States. On behalf of West African Region City WAMI, I thank the government, and the people that we have for hosting this meeting and for their continued commitment to the regional cooperation. Their support reinforces the shared responsibility of member states in advancing our integration objective. I commend the Republic of Guinea for their peaceful, orderly conduct at each recent election. Democratic continuity, institutional stability remain fundamental to policy predictability, economic confidence, and sustained regional progress. Honorable governors, our integration journey to West African military continue to be guided by principles that regional cooperation strengthen national resilience. Policy coordination, solidarity, shared responsibility remain essential building stable and inclusive economy across the region. As former ECOWAS chief, by Mr. Johnson Saliu of South Africa, the strength of our nations lies in the strength of our union. That insight remain relevant as we deepen economic cooperation and regional division in the zone. Permit me at the junction to acknowledge with appreciation the continued leadership, policy commitment, institutional dedication of our honorable government. Your stewardship remain essential to the stability and progress of the region. The global economy remains characterized by moderate growth, high financial conditions, and economic uncertainties. Trade, capital flows, development finance continue to reflect geopolitical development, evolving policy environment. These conditions reinforce the importance of sound macroeconomic management and strengthen regional coordinations. Within the WAMS, economic development in 2025 reflects resilience amid ongoing adjustments. Growth remains positive, supported by stabilization measures and investment recovery. Policy efforts to address macroeconomic imbalance progress in several member countries. Nevertheless, debt availability, structural constraints, and exposure to external shocks remain key policy considerations. Honorable governors, at the end of 2025, end June 2025, no member state met all the four policy and macroeconomic governance objectives. However, the overall government position of the zone will improve relative to the previous year. The composite convergence score rose to 58.3%, up from 50% end June 2024, reflecting strengthening policy efforts in several countries. These outcomes of the gradual adjustment, policy consultation across the zone, although performance gap remains, particularly in the area affected by persistent pressure, fiscal constraints, and external sector availability. Trade integration remains below potential. However, after implementation, progress in maps, and improvement in trade facilitation and transit systems provide opportunity to strengthen traditional commerce. During the review period, WAMI continue to provide analytical, technical, and institutional support. Progress was made in policy research, legal harmonization, community union, supervisory cooperation, capital market integration, and payment system interoperability. The period ahead requires sustained policy commitment, control reforms, and close coordination. WAMI 2026 work program is structured to support these priorities by strengthening surveillance, provide targeted technical assistance, deepen policy-oriented research, and enhance institutional collaboration as member states advance toward a single ECOWAS currency objective. I acknowledge the continuous cooperation among our system with regional institutions and economic partners, which remain vital to sustain progress. With this honorable outcome, I wish you productive deliberation.
Thank you. Thank you very much for those insightful comments. We'll go down the list now to invite more dignitaries for remarks. And this time we want to welcome the Director General of WAIFEM, Dr. WAMA. Let's give him a round of applause, please.
Thank you very much, MC. Your Excellency, the Chairman of the Board of Governors of WAIFEM, Your Excellency, Central Bank Governors present, distinguished Deputy Governors present, the Deputy Minister of Finance and Economic Development, Liberia, the Commissioner of Economic Affairs and Agriculture of the ECOWAS Commission, the Director Generals of WAMA and WAMI, members of the Parliament present, representatives of international partner organizations, esteemed colleagues and observers members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. It is with immense honor, profound gratitude, and exceptional joy that I welcome Your Excellency to this truly historic occasion, the 50th meeting of the Board of Governors of WAIFEM. This is not merely another meeting in our calendar. It is a landmark gathering that symbolizes 3 decades of visionary governance, strategic leadership, and unwavering commitment to regional excellence, economic and financial management. As we assemble here for the first time this year, though in mid-February, permit me to extend my warmest wishes for a prosperous, healthy, and successful 2026 to Your Excellency, your families, your institutions, and the nations you serve with such distinction. On behalf of the management and the entire WAIFEM family, I wish to express our deepest and most heartfelt appreciation to the government and people of the Republic of Liberia for the extraordinary warmth, exceptional hospitality, and meticulous arrangement that have characterized our visit to this beautiful nation. To His Excellency, the Executive Governor of the Central Bank of Liberia, Mr. Henry F. Swan, and your dedicated team, we say a profound thank you. Your commitment to hosting this milestone meeting reflects not only institutional excellence, but also Liberia's enduring dedication to regional solidarity and advancement of our collective economic aspirations. To the Honorable Minister of Finance and Development Planning, Mr. Augustine Kwegiri-Wan, and the staff of the ministry, we extend our sincere gratitude for their invaluable support and collaboration. The seamless coordination and warm reception we have experienced from the moment of our arrival have been nothing short of outstanding. The Liberian spirit of brotherhood, generosity, and professionalism has been on full display, and we are deeply honored to hold this historic 50th Board of Governors meeting on your soil. Your hospitality will be remembered long after this gathering concludes. Your Excellencies, as we mark this momentous 50th Board of Governors meeting, it is both appropriate and inspiring to reflect on the extraordinary journey WAIFEM has undertaken and the remarkable achievements of the past years. The year 2026 holds a special significance for our institute. As we celebrate our 30th anniversary, 3 decades of service, impact, and transformation across West Africa. This milestone reflects not only institutional resilience and adaptability, but also the continued confidence, support, and visionary guidance that Your Excellencies and our member states have consistently placed in WAIFEM. As we celebrate this achievement, we do so with deep gratitude for the journey thus far and renewed determination to serve our region with even greater effectiveness and innovation. I am delighted to report that in 2025, WAIFEM successfully executed 54 training, high-quality training and capacity building programs, reaching 1,712 participants across member states and beyond. These are not merely numbers, they represent lives transformed, competencies enhanced, institutions strengthened, and economies better equipped to navigate an increasingly complex global landscape. In the second half of 2025, we delivered 29 training programs to 896 participants, demonstrating accelerated momentum and growing regional demand for WAIFEM services. What makes this achievement particularly noteworthy is the exceptional quality and measurable impact of our delivery. 98% of the participants rated facilitators' effectiveness as excellent. 94% confirmed that training objectives were cleared, and 95% reported immediate application applicability of knowledge in their institution. WAMA's programs have maintained strong regional balance, ensuring that capacity development benefits are equally distributed across our member states. We have also made significant strides in gender inclusivity. The female participation reaching 42% in the second half of 2025. While we celebrate this progress, we remain firmly committed to achieving full gender parity in all our programs, recognizing that inclusive capacity building is not just a moral imperative, but an economic necessity for comprehensive and sustainable development. Your Excellencies, as we reflect on WAIFEM's achievement, it would be remiss not to acknowledge and celebrate the bold economic reforms and remarkable policies, successes that our member countries have achieved. These reforms create the enabling environment with which WAIFEM capacity building efforts bear fruit, and they demonstrate the leadership, courage, and commitment of your Excellencies to transforming our regional economy. The Gambia Revenue Authority, Your Excellency, the Gambia Revenue Authority collected $35.3 billion, a remarkable 21% nominal growth, with tax to GDP ratio reaching 12%. The equivalent growth hit impressive 6%, exceeding projections and outstanding the region. This is fiscal discipline delivery. In Ghana, we applaud the exemplary implementation of the annual supported reform programs, which has yielded tangible results. Ghana's economy grew by about 6.1% in the first 3 quarters of 2025, exceeding expectations. The IMF rewarded this exemplary performance with $385 billion following the fifth review. Ghana's debt restructuring and stabilization demonstrate visionary leadership and provide valuable regional lessons. Liberia, we've seen an impressive growth. Liberian economy expanded by 5.1%, exceeding the 4.6 forecast. Most impressively, inflation hit 20% year low. This represents extraordinary success in price stability management. This achievement reflects sound monetary policy, fiscal discipline, and effective economic management by the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Ministry of Finance. We recognize Nigeria for the bold and comprehensive monetary and banking sector reforms implemented by the Central Bank of Nigeria. These reforms have restored economic stability, strengthened Naira, and enhanced resilience on the banking sector. The economy is projected to grow by 4.9% in 2026. Nigeria's commitment to financial system modernization and macroeconomic stability continue to anchor regional financial integration. Commensurate Sierra with its historic achievement as continental leader in trade reform under the African Continental Free Trade Area. Sierra Leone has demonstrated exemplary commitment to regional integration and trade facilitation. Additionally, the nation has achieved remarkable success in inflation control, bringing down inflation from 54% in 2023 to just 5.8% in August 2025, one of the most dramatic inflation reductions in the region. Your Excellencies, while we celebrate this remarkable achievement, we must also acknowledge the complexity and velocity of change in global economic landscape, and it demands continuous evaluation of our capacity building interventions. In conclusion, Your Excellency, your wisdom, strategic insight, and collective vision are the cornerstone of WAIFEM continued relevance and success. We count on your excellent guidance to ensure that WAIFEM not only remain responsive to the current needs, but anticipate future challenges and position our member countries for sustained competitive prosperity. As we mark the 50th Board of Governors meeting and we celebrate WAIFEM's 30th anniversary, we are reminded that our strength lies in our unity, our impact measured by transformation transformational we realize, and our legacy will be defined by the prosperity we have to create for the people of West Africa. This is not just a celebration of institutional legitimacy, it is a celebration of 3 decades of visionary governance by the board, 3 decades of unwavering commitment by the capacity building institution and building economic reform by our member states that are yielding measurable results. More details of the 30th anniversary celebration will be shared in due course, and we count on Your Excellency's continued support, active participation, visionary leadership as we commemorate this milestone in a manner that honors our past achievement while charting an ambitious and innovative course for the future. Your Excellency, once again I express our profound gratitude to the government and the people of Liberia, the Central Bank of Liberia, as well as the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning for this exceptional course and warm hospitality. To all distinguished delegates and observers, I wish you productive, insightful, and forward-looking celebration. May your wisdom guide WAIFEM to even greater heights. Thank you. God bless WAIFEM. God bless our member countries. God bless ECOWAS, and God bless the entire West African race.
Thank you very much. I think he deserves a bigger hand of applause. All right, we will now invite for an opening statement the Committee on Governance of WAMA, and that statement will be given by the Governor of the Central Bank of the Gambia, and is represented by the first Deputy Governor, Dr. Paul Mendy. Let's give Dr. Mendy a round of applause.
Thank you very much. Just to correct, I'm the second deputy governor. Thank you very much. And also, the government is wearing 2 hats, so this is not wrong. We are cheering both WAMA and WAIFEM, just for correction. Thank you very much, Honorable Governors. The speech goes as follows. Represent the Honorable Governor Boasie, who has handled for me sincere apology for not being able to attend this very important meeting. Distinguished governors and members of Central Bank, including Governor Michel, representative of ECOWAS President, Director General of WAMA, WAMI, and WAIFEM, Chairman, ECOWAS Commission, WAMA Technical Committee, members of Parliament here present, honorable ministers present, members of the Joint Technical Committee, representatives of the WAMA Commission, representative of ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development, representative of ASCB, representative of other regional and international organizations, representative of other ministries, departments and agencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Distinguished governors, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome distinguished governors and the various delegations to this 7th ordinary meeting of the Committee of Governors of ECOWAS member states, being held in the historic city of Monrovia, Liberia. The presence of various delegations in this meeting reflects, certainly, the particular interest attached to the achievement of the objectives of the ECOWAS military cooperation program. I thank you for your presence. Permit me to extend our heartfelt appreciation to His Excellency President Joseph Joma Boakai, Senior, President of the Republic of Liberia, and the great people of the land of Liberia for hosting these statutory meetings and the warm hospitality extended to the various delegations. The Minister of Finance, the Governor of Central Bank of Liberia, and their management and staff have lived up to our expectations in organizing these meetings and the quality of the facilities placed at our disposal since our arrival. For this, we jointly salute your professionalism and dedication to this, to be called for regional integration. I also wish to extend our sincere appreciation to the President of the ECOWAS Commission for the quality of stewardship in these critical moments of our monetary integration agenda. I would also like to congratulate the Director General of WAMA and his staff for all the work done so far in the implementation of the activities of the ECOWAS roadmap for the launch of the single currency, the ECO. To the Joint Technical Committee, we appreciate the immense contribution you continue to make to of this process. Distinguished governors, ladies and gentlemen, while a detailed summary of the global and regional economic development is expected from the Joint Chairman of the Technical Committee, permit me to highlight the following. Global economic growth is estimated at 3.3% in 2025 and is expected to remain steady at 3.3% in 2026 and 3.2% in 2027, precipitated by the strong momentum in technology investments and supporting fiscal policies in the face of uncertainty. Global inflation path is expected to continue from an estimated 4.1% in 2025 to 3.8% and 3.4% in 2026 and 2027 respectively. Despite global headwinds, regional economies remain largely resilient. Growth is projected at 4.8% in 2025, higher than the 4.3% recorded in 2024. The upward growth trajectory in the region is expected to be sustained in the medium term, supported by a combination of factors including moderation in inflation, increased foreign reserves, stable exchange rates, and improved fiscal space. Although growth varies across the region, most members have registered an improvement during the period. However, risk in this outlook remains pronounced, including the ongoing trade tensions, rising global protectionism, and geopolitical tensions. In the midst of these headwinds, authorities in the region continue the prudent calibration of macroeconomic policies, which supported the deflation process in the region and improved fiscal reform. In the area of macroeconomic convergence, performance shows an improvement in all the performance criteria during the review period. Initial estimates indicate that 4 member states met all the primary criteria in 2025 as opposed to the previous year, while 8 members are predicted to meet at least 3 primary criteria during the period. Fellow governors, ladies and gentlemen, I am reliably informed that earlier presentations indicated that the level of improvement in ECOWAS roadmap activities for the launch of the regional single currency remains slow, despite some achievements. These accomplishments continue to be supported by the establishment of several committees of experts from member central banks, who spearhead the work in these areas. I want to commend the central banks for this continued support. Despite these laudable efforts, significant activities remain to be completed, given the fast approaching deadline for the launch of the ECOWAS. I urge you all to continue to show the same commitment and dedication in the execution of the outstanding roadmap activities to allow timely completion. Key areas that require critical attention include resolving all outstanding issues on the terms of reference for the choice of the host country of the CBWA, selection of the host country, of the components of the EPSS infrastructure, the exchange rate mechanism, the protocols of the monetary union, i.e. monetary union agreement, and CBWA status, and sequencing of payments of contribution for capital and reserve of the CBWA. Some of these issues will be considered in our meeting today. Distinguished governors, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to provide an overview of the Gambian economy. Economic activities remain resilient, and real GDP growth is projected to reach 6.4% in 2025. This is premised on strong private and public investment, higher performance in services, construction, and agriculture. Private revenue inflows, which go to support household consumption and investment, continue to be robust, supporting economic activity. On domestic price development, inflationary pressures continue to abate, with headline inflation reaching 3.6% in December 2025. Fiscal performance has also improved during the period thanks to improvements in domestic resource mobilization and higher expenditure control. The foreign exchange market continues to function smoothly with improved foreign currency liquidity conditions, which supported the exchange rate of the dollar during the period. the central bank continues to maintain a strong external reserve position with gross international reserve reaching 4.3 months of import cover by the end of 2025. Distinguished governors, ladies and gentlemen, as members of this committee, we form a vital component of the monetary integration agenda. We are expected to provide the critical directions and guidance to the regional institutions tasked with carrying out the technical and critical works needed, especially in the implementation of the roadmap activities for the launch of the ECO. It is important, therefore, for us to evaluate our performance, not only in providing oversight, but also the extent to which we are able to progress these roadmap activities for the consideration of the ECOWAS Convergence Council and the Authority of Heads of States and Provinces. Let us all appreciate and continue to support the very complex and difficult tasks that our technical teams and regional institutions continue to carry out for and on behalf of the community. Distinguished governors, ladies and gentlemen, as I hand over the mantle of leadership of this committee, I would like to thank you all for the support you have given me, and that is the Honorable Governor who was here. I would like to express my gratitude to you for the cooperation and positive engagement during my tenure. We have had to work on sometimes very difficult issues, but you have always favored compromise and the community interest in our deliberations. I am very grateful to you and remain convinced that you will continue to give the same level of support to the incoming chairs. Distinguished governors, ladies and gentlemen, against this backdrop, I would like to insist on a careful examination of the various recommendations submitted for our consideration by the Joint Technical Committee at the end of each one. Decisions that will result from our discussions will determine the pace and direction of the monetary integration agenda going forward. I thank you all for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mendy. Actually, the speaker right now is Dr. Sila, but Dr. Sila, we apologize that we brought you a little bit early on later, so we hope you can accept our apology. So, having done that, let's now welcome the ECOWAS Commissioner for Economic Affairs and Agriculture, Dr. Khalil Sila, for Black. Did I get it right? I can applause.
Thank the government and the people of Liberia for their hospitality and their commitment for the regional integration. Also, I think building on the experience of the honorable governor of Liberia, I should say impossible should not be an option. So now we shift to French. Monsieur le Président du Conseil des gouverneurs, Mesdames et Messieurs les gouverneurs, Monsieur le Directeur général de l'AMAO, l'IMAO, WAIFEM, Monsieur le Président de la Commission de développement, chers collègues de la CDAO, Mesdames et Messieurs les institutions nationales et internationales, distingués invités, Mesdames et Messieurs, chers amis de la presse, chers collègues des cabines d'interprètes. En ces derniers mois de l'année 2026, permettez-moi au nom du président de la Commission des Nations, Dr. Aliou Touré, et à mon personnel de vous présenter les meilleurs de santé, de paix et de succès. Puis cette année est placée sous le sceau du dialogue renforcé, la coopération future, les progrès partagés au sein de notre communauté. C'est également pour moi un moment empreint de respect et d'humilité. Il s'agit de ma première participation aux travaux du comité des gouverneurs à la suite de ma nomination en remplacement de Madame ma soeur, Madame Assane Touré, à appelés à nos fonctions à la base africaine du développement. Je voulais vous demander d'applaudir donc je me suis pleinement à la portée de cette mission et je vais m'inscrire dans une dynamique d'écoute, des concertations, d'ouverture avec chacun d'entre vous. Je souhaite exprimer ma profonde gratitude, la profonde gratitude de la Commission au gouvernement et au peuple de la Liberia pour l'accueil exceptionnel qui nous a été réservé. Je voudrais donc encore une fois vous demander d'applaudir le peuple et le gouvernement libérien pour son accueil. La qualité de l'organisation témoigne de l'engagement constant du Liberia pour le renforcement de l'intégration régionale. Je salue particulièrement le ministre des Finances, de la Planification et du Développement, ainsi que l'honorable gouverneur de la Banque centrale du Liberia pour leur disponibilité et leur sens du service public. Mesdames et messieurs, le rapport suivi à notre appréciation fait apparaître un environnement économique international toujours marqué par l'incertitude, les tensions géopolitiques persistantes, les conditions financières globales plus restrictives et les vulnérabilités liées au changement climatique et la guerre commerciale continue d'influencer de manière significative les perspectives mondiales. Toutefois, malgré ces défis, nos États membres ont su montrer une résilience appréciable avec une croissance soutenue et des efforts notables de stabilisation macroéconomique. Bien que des progrès tangibles aient été enregistrés, les performances en matière de convergence requièrent encore des efforts concertés. Je reste convaincu qu'à travers les dialogues constructifs et une coordination renforcée entre nos institutions, nous parviendrons à surmonter ces défis. Le rapport met également en lumière les avancées réalisées dans la mise en œuvre de la feuille de route pour le lancement de l'éco, tout en soulignant certains écarts susceptibles de compromettre l'échéance de 2027. L'état d'avancement de cette feuille de route n'est certainement pas à la hauteur de nos ambitions communes. Elle n'est pas certainement à la hauteur de l'attente des populations d'Afrique de l'Ouest. À ce titre, nous devons quand même faire des avancées et à ce titre, la Libre du principe constitue une période charnière où des décisions majeures devront être prises, notamment la finalisation des textes fondateurs, la désignation du pays hôte, la définition de la banque de fluctuation, la clarification des modalités de financement et les choix des banques centrales pour appliquer notamment les composantes du système de paiement. Ces décisions auront un impact déterminant pour la crédibilité de notre futur cadre monétaire. Dans cette perspective, la réactivation de la taxe force présidentielle constitue un levier diplomatique et institutionnel important pour garantir une gouvernance harmonisée du processus. Mesdames et messieurs les gouverneurs, mesdames et messieurs, le projet d'intégration monétaire demeure plus que jamais un symbole d'unité, de solidarité et d'ambition commune. Au-delà de son caractère technique, il incarne notre aspiration collective à bâtir un espace économique plus stable, plus résilient et plus prospère. Dans cet esprit, je vous encourage à poursuivre vos réflexions dans un climat encore une écoute du budget, de pragmatisme et d'ouverture. Votre expertise, votre sens du consensus, votre engagement sont essentiels pour orienter notre autorité et les décisions clairvoyantes et porteuses d'avenir. La Commission de la sidérographie, sa totale disponibilité à renforcer en collaboration avec les banques centrales, les institutions spécialisées et l'ensemble de nos partenaires techniques et financiers. Nous veillerons à ce que vos recommandations soient examinées avec la plus grande attention et transmises aux instances compétentes. En conclusion, je tiens à renouveler mes remerciements les plus sincères à chacun d'entre vous pour votre dévouement au service de l'intégration régionale. Puissent nos échanges contribuer à franchir une étape décisive dans le processus de convergence monétaire dans notre région. Je vous remercie pour votre attention et souhaite plein succès à nos travaux. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate it. I feel so bad why I escaped most of my French classes while I was in elementary school. Maybe it's a little too late now to learn it, is it? Well, never too late to learn. But thank you very much for your comments. We're getting closer now to our tea break. We have a few more remarks, and this time we want to invite the governor of the Bank of Sierra Leone, Honorable Dr. Ibrahim L. Stevens. Dr. Stevens is making an opening statement on behalf of the chairman of the Committee of Governors of WAMS and he's the governor of the Bank of Sierra Leone, Dr. Ibrahim L. Stevens.
President of the ECOWAS Commission, Honorable Governors of the Central Bank, the member states of the WAMS, West African Monetary Zone, Honorable Governor of the BCAO, Director General of WAMI, Director General of WAMA, Director General of WAIFEM, representatives of his international institutions, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of His Excellency, President, Brigadier General Retired Dr. Julius Maada and the people of the Republic of Sierra Leone, it has been my distinct honor to serve as chairman of the Honorable Committee over the past year. During this period, Sierra Leone had the privilege of hosting both the physical 50th meeting and the virtual 51st meeting of the Committee of Governors of Central Banks of the West African Monetary Zone. Honorable colleagues, I am deeply grateful to you for the confidence reposed in me and for the spirit of cooperation, collegiality, and shared purpose that characterized our engagement throughout my tenure. Serving as chairman of this committee has been an extraordinary privilege, and I remain humbled by the trust and support extended to me. I wish to express my sincere appreciation to the government and good people of the Republic of Liberia for their warm hospitality and for hosting the end of year 2025 statutory meeting of the Committee of Governors of the World. I also wish to commend all WAMS member states for their unwavering commitment to our shared objectives and to the broader ECOWAS regional integration agenda. Your dedication to deeper economic cooperation and macroeconomic convergence remains the cornerstone of our collective progress. Honorable Governors, our deliberations today will go against the backdrop of global economic uncertainty, subdued growth, geopolitical tensions, tightening financial conditions, and climate-related risks. These headwinds underscore the urgency of prudent macroeconomic management and strengthened regional policy coordination. The end June 2025 zonal report provides a candid assessment of our status of macroeconomic convergence. While no member state met all four primary convergence criteria, the zone recorded notable improvements. Inflationary pressures moderated significantly, with zone-wide average inflation declining to around 14% in June 2025 from 27.6% a year earlier, an achievement driven by prudent monetary policy, improved fiscal coordination, and easing supply-side constraints. However, challenges persist. Inflation remains above the convergence threshold in most member states. External buffers are fragile, and structural vulnerabilities continue to constrain sustained convergence. In Sierra Leone, macroeconomic conditions improved during 2025, reflecting the impact of sustained policy reforms and strengthening coordination between fiscal and monetary authorities. Economic activity remains supported by agriculture and services, while inflation declined markedly following firm monetary policy tightening. Firm monetary policy tightening, improved fiscal discipline, exchange rate stability, and improved domestic food supply. Fiscal consolidation efforts yielded improved budgetary outcomes, supported by enhanced revenue mobilization and reduced subsidies, while central bank financing of fiscal deficits declined significantly, reinforcing central bank credibility. In addition, the Bank of Sierra Leone continued to advance financial inclusion initiatives and payment systems modernization. Nonetheless, sustained reforms will be required to strengthen resilience and support full macroeconomic convergence over the medium term. Distinguished colleagues, these developments reaffirm the importance of perseverance, policy coordination, and institutional strengthening. While progress has been recorded, deeper and more sustained reforms are required to entrench macroeconomic stability and advance decisively towards monetary integration. It is therefore imperative that we intensify our collective efforts to meet the convergence criteria, strengthen institutional preparedness, and sustain momentum towards the establishment of a single currency for the WAMs. As I hand over the chairmanship, I do so with confidence that the committee, under the able leadership of the incoming chairman, will consolidate recent gains, address emerging risks, and sustain progress towards our long-standing objective of a single monetary integration. In conclusion, I wish to express my profound appreciation to WAMI and our development partners for their invaluable technical and institutional support throughout my tenure. Sierra Leone remains firmly committed to the ideals and objectives of this committee. Let us approach our deliberations with renewed commitment, unity, and shared purpose as we work towards a more resilient, integrated, and prosperous zone, one that delivers tangible benefits to all our citizens. I thank you all for your attention and wish you fruitful deliberations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks very much. Let's give another round of applause. Sometimes when you see me delay a little bit coming in, I'm consulting with my in-house artificial intelligence. That's why, sometimes I'm a little slow in getting back. But we will now call on for an opening statement from the Board of Governors of WAIFEM, and this will be done by the Governor of the Central Bank of the Gambia, represented by the second Deputy Governor, Honorable Paul Henry. Dr. Manning, let's give him my hand, please.
Thank you. Once again, please bear with us. This is the second half. Your Excellencies, Ministers of Finance present, Honorable Governors of Central Bank, Chairman, Committee of Governors of WAMI, Commissioner for Economic Affairs and Agriculture, ECOWAS Commission, Deputy Governors of Central Banks present, Permanent Secretaries, Ministries of Finance present, Director Generals of WAIFEM, WAMI, and WAMA, representatives of regional and international organizations, delegates, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and Happy New Year to you all. It is both an honor and a privilege with deep humility and a strong sense of stewardship to attend this distinguished assembly as we convene for a historic milestone, the 50th meeting of the Board of Governors of WAIFEM. This landmark gathering represents 3 decades of collective commitment to building capacity, strengthening institutions, and advancing economic prosperity across West Africa. This milestone meeting is not merely a statutory obligation, it is a solemn affirmation of our shared commitment to regional cooperation, collective progress, and the enduring belief that strong institutions built on knowledge and professionalism remain the cornerstone of sustainable economic development in West Africa. Let me begin by expressing our profound gratitude to the government and people of the Republic of Liberia for their exceptional hospitality and for the excellent facilities placed at our disposal. In particular, I extend my sincere appreciation to Honorable Henry F. Samoy, Governor of Central Bank of Liberia, and his dedicated team, and to the Honorable Minister of Finance and Development Planning, Honorable Christine K. Gafuan, and the staff, my apologies if not well said, and the staff of the Ministry for the outstanding logistical arrangements and warm reception we have enjoyed since our arrival. The warmth and professionalism we have experienced from the airport to our accommodations reflect the renowned Liberian spirit of brotherhood and solidarity. The historic city of Monrovia, a symbol of freedom and resilience, provides an inspiring backdrop for our deliberations, and we chart a course towards great economic integration and shared prosperity in West Africa. To our colleagues from ECOWAS, esteemed central bankers, distinguished professionals from Ministries of Finance and Economic Planning, and our development partners, your presence underscores our shared commitment to regional cooperation and collaboration, economic transformation, and institutional excellence. I wish to convey my sincere appreciation to all my esteemed colleague governors and honorable ministers for honoring this important meeting with your presence despite the many and weighty demands of national service. Your participation stands as a powerful testament to the high value we collectively place on WAIFEM and to the critical role it continues to play in strengthening the capacity of staff across our central banks, Ministries of Finance and Economic Planning, and other public and private sector institutions within the sub-region. Regarding the milestone meeting and the milestone of the year, distinguished governors, this 50th Board of Governors meeting holds special significance not only as a numeric milestone, but as a moment of reflection and renewed commitment. As we gather here today, we do so in a year that marks WAIFEM's 30th anniversary, 3 decades of unwavering service to the West African sub-region. Since its establishment in 1996, WAIFEM has evolved from a modest training institution into a premier regional center of excellence for capacity building in macroeconomic and financial management. Over the past 30 years, WAIFEM has trained over 29,000 professionals across our member states, contributing immensely to the quality of policy formulation, institutional governance, and economic decision-making across the region. This twin milestone, our 50th board meeting and WAIFEM's 30th anniversary, invites us to honor the vision of our founders while renewing our resolve to meet the challenges of an increasingly complex and interconnected world. Distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, we continue at the moment of profound global economic headwinds, defined by declining but persistent inflation, tight global financial conditions, trade fragmentation, and geopolitical realignment. For West Africa, while the medium-term growth is expected to average above 4%, this outlook is tempered by formidable headwinds, rising debt burdens, climate shocks, institutional fragility, and significant youth unemployment, all straining our fiscal space and social stability. Yet, our leader demonstrates remarkable resilience and dynamism. The expansion of interregional trade, digital revolution in financial services, and a vibrant private sector are driving entrepreneurship. Critical, the operationalization of the African Continental Free Trade Area (AFTA) unlocks unprecedented potential for integrated markets. As the adage reminds us, smooth seas do not make skillful sailors. This period of uncertainty is the crucible in which institutional strength is tested, leadership is refined, and capacity becomes decisive. Therefore, the essential question before us is not whether we can grow, but whether we can fundamentally transform our growth model. We must pursue a different path, one that is inclusive, sustainable, resilient, to future shocks. This demands that we navigate current challenges with steadfast commitment to the bold structural reforms necessary for lasting prosperity. A reflection from the Technical Committee. Distinguished governors, last week, from the 4th to the 7th of February, the Technical Committee held its 53rd meeting here in Monrovia under the able and steady chairmanship of Mr. Karamo Jawa, Director of Bank and Payment System Department of the Central Bank of the Gambia. The meeting was marked by rigorous, forward-looking deliberations with members providing thoughtful and incisive technical guidance on the WAIFEM 2026 work program and project. The Technical Committee expressed deep satisfaction with WAIFEM's performance. The Technical Committee also commended the Director General and the entire WAIFEM Secretariat for their exemplary dedication and professionalism. At this point, let me also express my gratitude to the Chairman and distinguished members of the Technical Committee for the depth of analysis, rigor, and professionalism demonstrated during their meeting. The Committee's recommendations will meaningfully inform our deliberations today and serve as a technical anchor for the strategic decisions that this board will be called upon to take. On the issue of governance, transparency, and institutional credibility, distinguished colleagues, I am particularly heartened by the growing testimonies from participants in WAIFEM training programs across our member institutions. These accounts of enhanced skills, strengthened confidence, and improved performance serve as living evidence that the best investment a nation can make is in the capacity of its people. Equally gratifying is WAIFEM's strong performance culture, transparency, and sound financial management, evidenced by the favorable assessment of the independent review by the external auditors. Such affirmation reinforces trust and underscores the institution's standing as a credible and well-managed regional institution. The imperative of capacity building in an era of disruption. Honorable Governors, it is precisely in this context that WAIFEM's mandate assumes even greater significance. The Institute stands as a beacon of regional capacity building, equipping our public institutions with the knowledge, skills, and analytical tools required to navigate economic complexity and uncertainty with confidence and competence. In an era of rapid technological change, climate disruption, and geopolitical fragmentation, capacity building is not a luxury. It is a strategic imperative. The challenges confronting our region, from cybersecurity threats and regional digital currencies to climate adaptation and artificial intelligence, require new competencies, new analytical frameworks, and new leadership approaches. WAIFEM's role extends beyond traditional training. We are cultivating a new generation of economic managers equipped to navigate complexity, drive innovation, and lead transformative change. Through our programs, we are empowering policymakers to make evidence-based decisions in volatile environments. The capacity nurtured through WAIFEM transcends classrooms and conference halls. It strengthens institutions, enhances policy credibility, and ultimately improves the livelihoods of economic well-being and economic well-being of citizens we are privileged to serve. On the strategic direction and priorities for 2026 and beyond, distinguished colleagues, as we mark WAIFEM's 30th anniversary and chart a course for the future, the extension of WAIFEM's strategic plan through 2027 presents a timely opportunity to recalibrate our priorities and in response to evolving global and regional dynamics. As we deliberate during this landmark meeting, we are called upon not only to reflect and celebrate past achievements, but also to chart clear, purposeful, and forward-looking path for the future. Distinguished governors, as we celebrate WAIFEM's 30th anniversary this year, we are presented with a moment of reflection, renewal, and recommitment. This is not merely a celebration of institutional longevity, but a celebration of 3 decades of partnership, collaboration, and shared commitment to building stronger, more purposeful West Africa. The board will receive more details on the anniversary celebrations in due course. I encourage all member states to actively participate in commemorating this historical achievement. Appreciation and acknowledgement. In closing, let me express my profound gratitude to several key stakeholders, to the government and people of Liberia, and particularly the Governor Honorable Larry F. Samoy, Executive Governor of Central Bank of Liberia and his team, and Honorable Minister Augustine K. Gafwan, Minister of Finance and Development Planning, and staff of the ministry. Thank you for your exceptional hospitality and for making this historical meeting possible.
Thank you very much.
Just a minute. To the members of this distinguished board, your strategic guidance, wisdom, and unwavering commitment have positioned WAIFEM as a premier capacity building institution in our region. I extend special appreciation to my fellow governors for the trust, solidarity, and unwavering support accorded to me through my death. To Dr. Baba Yusuf Musa, Director General of WAIFEM, and the entire WAIFEM management team and staff. Your dedication, professionalism, and commitment to excellence are foundations of our success. Your hard work does not go unnoticed. To all delegates and participants, your presence and engagement demonstrate our shared belief in the power of capacity building to transform economies and improve lives. Finally, I reiterate my profound appreciation to member central banks for their continued and steadfast financial support, particularly through the regular and timely payment of our commissions, which remains indispensable to the Institute's sustained success. In conclusion, distinguished governors, ladies and gentlemen, as we deliberate over the next hours, let us do so with a sense of purpose and urgency. The decisions we take today will shape WAIFEM's trajectory for years to come, and will determine our collective ability to navigate the complex challenges ahead. Let me conclude with the words of one of the former Liberian presidents who reminds us, if your dreams are not scaring you, they are not big enough. Let us dream big for WAIFEM. Let us dream big for West Africa. Let us work together to turn these dreams into reality. Thank you all for your kind attention.
Thank you very much. Sorry for the premature call that I made for hand clap. So if we just do another hand clap now we are getting to the last but certainly not the least portion of our open session for this morning. And after that, there will be a group photo at the front of the building. The seats are already arranged. So after these short remarks, we'll all proceed to the front of the building for the group photo. Having said that, let me now welcome the other governors to make short remarks on this occasion. And it's my pleasure to welcome the Governor of the Bank of West African States, Honorable Jane Claude Kassibu. Let's give him a round of applause, please.
Honorable gouverneur de la Banque centrale et vice-gouverneur de la Banque centrale, distingués invités, mesdames, messieurs, en des qualités, je voudrais d'abord remercier notre hôte, docteur Sama, gouverneur exécutif de la Banque centrale du Liberia, qui nous reçoit ce matin à l'occasion de cette 67e réunion du comité des gouverneurs de la CEDEAO. Je voudrais également exprimer toute notre gratitude aux autorités du Liberia pour l'accueil de l'hospitalité chaleureuse qui nous a été réservée depuis notre arrivée ici dans cette ville historique de Monrovia. Nous sommes très heureux d'être ici. Cette importante réunion du comité des gouverneurs de la CEDEAO, réunion qui nous permettra de faire un peu le point sur les progrès, mais également sur les défis dans la mise en œuvre du programme de coopération monétaire de la CEDEAO. Il s'agira pour l'ensemble des gouverneurs et vice-gouverneurs et participants d'identifier les voies et moyens pour faire progresser et voire accélérer la mise en œuvre de ce programme. Il faut le dire, a démarré depuis 1987. Je voudrais donc ne pas être long, parce que nous avons eu pratiquement des extrêmement importants. Je voudrais donc souhaiter une réunion très productive au comité des gouverneurs et faire cesser la intégration dans notre région. Thank you very much for your time and attention and be successful.
Thank you very much, Honorable. We invite next to make a few remarks the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Honorable WAIFEM
Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, Governor of the Central Bank of Liberia, other distinguished Central Bank governors, deputy governors, Director Generals of WAMI, WAMA, and WAIFEM, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of the Central Bank of Nigeria, I extend my profound appreciation to our host, the Governor of the Central Bank of Liberia, Mr. Henry Samoe, for the warm hospitality extended to delegates. Allow me also to thank His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Liberia, and the gracious people of Liberia, whose generosity and commitment to regional integration have once again created a conducive atmosphere for meaningful dialogue in this beautiful city of Monrovia. The excellent organization of both the technical committee and governors' meetings is a testament to Liberia's strong dedication to our collective goals. Distinguished colleagues, we convene at a pivotal point in our journey towards achieving full and meaningful economic integration. The 2027 ECO launch timeline is upon us, and 2026 marks the final year of the convergence phase before our transition to the monetary union stage. This reality places an enormous responsibility on all of us as economic managers, leaders of thought in our various member states. The remaining milestones demand unity, discipline, and technical precision. We cannot afford to repeat the mistakes of other unions that entered with weak fundamentals only to face costly crises later. Our union must be anchored on credible, transparent, and harmonized macroeconomic and financial frameworks. As we move forward, legal and institutional convergence is just as important as macroeconomic convergence. A sustainable single currency requires uniformity in central banking laws, financial sector regulations, payment system legislation, FX and capital account rules, and public financial management frameworks. Our journey towards establishing a sustainable monetary union requires that we remain fair yet firm in the decisions we make collectively. Fairness ensures that every member state feels respected and heard, while firmness guarantees that once decisions are made, they are upheld with discipline and consistency. To accelerate progress, it is critical that we honor our mutually agreed commitments. Prolonged implementation of roadmap activities or reversals of previously adopted policies only weaken our credibility and slow down the integration process. A monetary union can only be built on a foundation of trust that each member will act responsibly, follow through on its obligations, and maintain policy stability. In essence, our success depends on unwavering commitment, collective responsibility, and a consistent adherence to decisions that reflect our shared vision for economic integration and long-term regional prosperity. Colleagues, our progress towards the ECO is ultimately dependent on mutual trust. Trust in our shared data, trust in our commitments, trust that we will not reverse agreed decisions nor shift benchmarks midstream, trust that each member state will do its part while supporting those facing structural challenges. The spirit of mutual respect, solidarity, and collective responsibility demonstrated by our founding fathers remains the bedrock of the ECOWAS integration project. As we accelerate towards 2027, we must recommit to the principles that have sustained this regional vision for decades. The Central Bank of Nigeria reaffirms its full commitment to this process. We remain ready to work with all member states, our institutions, WAMI, WAMA, WAIFEM, and the ECOWAS Commission to deliver the monetary, legal, supervisory, and payment system reforms required for a credible and sustainable monetary union. The ECO is now within reach. Let us walk this final stretch with clarity, discipline, and shared purpose. Thank you all for your attention.
Thank you very much, Honorable Olayemi Cardoso. And as you were speaking, I would feel good if I leave this hall without saying that you were sounding more like a Liberian. You studied here or you pastored here, but it will be interesting for us to talk after this. But thank you very much for this kind comment. Let's now welcome the second deputy governor, and she's representing the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Honorable Mrs. Maltida Asante Asedo. Let's give her a round of applause.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Kindly permit me to stand on the existing protocols already established. I bring you warm greetings from the Bank of Ghana and from the Governor, and thank you for the opportunity to offer these brief remarks at this very important occasion. First of all, let me express our sincere gratitude to the government and people of Liberia for the very warm and gracious hospitality extended to all of us. We are particularly appreciative to the Governor of the Central Bank for agreeing to host this very important meeting. Now, the benefits of integration, particularly monetary integration, is perhaps more urgent now than before, especially with the geopolitical uncertainties and the tensions we see around the globe. Economists and policymakers alike have consistently pointed out how a common monetary framework can reduce transaction costs, eliminate needless exchange rate risks, which all our countries continue to face, and deepen trade and investment flows across this ECOWAS sub-region. Currently, about 80% of intra-African payments go through corresponding banks outside the continent, costing us between 7 to 10% compared to a global average of about 3%. And while the Pan-African payment system perhaps is reducing this, it is clear that there is more that has to be done. And that's why we joined the call for urgent establishment of the ECOWAS payment and settlement systems highlighted this morning by the Governor of Liberia and other speakers. We believe that this will be a catalyst and a significant precursor to our collective objective of monetary union and a single currency. By facilitating trade and reducing the reliance on third-party currencies in intra-regional transactions, and monetary union holds promise of lowering economic barriers and strengthening the confidence of businesses operating within our bloc, as well as expanding economic opportunities for the 400 million plus people in the sub-region. In Ghana, we have made some good progress in our quest towards meeting the convergence criterion, despite the headwinds and the geopolitical tensions. Within the past year, we have reduced inflation from 23.8% to 5.4% at the end of December 2025. And I'm happy to inform you that as of January this year, we are at 3.8% in January 2026. Our policy rate has also dropped from 23% to 18.5% at the end of December, and happily, we're also now at 15% in January, with a forward guidance in the market of continued decline. We have built significant buffers as far as our reserves are concerned, from 8.9 billion, which will cover 4 months of import, to now 13.8 billion, which is about 5.7 months of import, in line with our commitment towards meeting this convergence criteria. In closing, I would like to thank all the governors, the technical experts, and the institutional leaders who have committed themselves tirelessly to this agenda. We at the Bank of Ghana will continue to stand ready in support in making this dream of ECOWAS, the ECO, and the monetary union a reality. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much for your comments, Madam Asedo. We are now inviting, last but not least, to make remarks, the first Deputy Governor for the Bank of Guinea, Honorable Mohamed Lamin Conte. Let's give him a round of applause, please.
Bonjour à tous. Honorable Président, Comité des gouverneurs, honorable gouverneur, vice-gouverneur de la Banque centrale, honorable représentant de la commission de la CEDEAO, distingués invités, mesdames et messieurs, c'est pour moi un signe d'honneur, une réelle fierté de nous adresser au nom de Dr Karamou Kaba, gouverneur de la Banque centrale de la République de Guinée, toute la gratitude du peuple guinéen au président libérien et au peuple frères libériens pour l'organisation réussie de nos présentes assises. Dr Karamou Kaba présente à ses collègues gouverneurs ses profonds regrets de n'avoir pas pu participer à ces réunions pour des raisons indépendantes de sa volonté. Il présente ses remerciements et sa totale satisfaction aux institutions IMAO, AMAO et WAIFEM et les différentes dispositions mises à la disposition de la délégation guinéenne depuis son arrivée ici à Monrovia. Honorables gouverneurs et vice-gouverneurs, mesdames et messieurs, distingués invités, chers représentants de la commission de la CEDEAO, nous sommes à un tournant décisif de notre voyage vers l'ECO en 2027, l'année prochaine, qui est déjà demain. Il est toujours dit que nos techniciens, nous nous devons de dire la vérité à nos populations qui attendent la réalisation de cet objectif qui est cette monnaie unique dont l'avènement a été reporté plusieurs fois malgré des efforts et des vies consentis par les pays membres de la CEDEAO. La Guinée, pour sa part, en tant que membre fondateur de la CEDEAO, reste pleinement engagée à la réussite de cet objectif commun. Cependant, nous devons reconnaître que nous sommes encore très loin de nos objectifs. À cet égard, bien qu'étant engagée dans le processus, la Guinée soutient le processus de rationalisation de nos institutions qui ont en charge l'avènement de l'ECO. C'est un objectif, c'est une mission, c'est une instruction qui a été donnée par la conférence des chefs d'État. À cet égard, la Guinée, dans les prochains mois, voire les prochains jours, prendra une décision en accord avec les différentes autorités à cet égard. Pour sa part, la Guinée, son économie reste résiliente et dynamique, en dépit d'un environnement international incertain. La croissance économique va se situer autour de 6,5%, voire deux chiffres, l'année prochaine. Une croissance soutenue par le secteur minier et par un environnement macroéconomique stable. L'inflation reste également maîtrisée, qui est à un niveau en dessous des critères de convergence à 3,5%. Grâce à une politique monétaire rigoureuse et accommodante, avec une coordination parfaitement cohérente des politiques monétaires et budgétaires.
perspective avec le retour à l'ordre constitutionnel par l'organisation des élections référendaires et présidentielles en 2025 et la mise en œuvre du programme Simandou 2040, l'économie guinéenne devrait être davantage robuste, à même de satisfaire la volonté des populations guinéennes dans leur désir d'accès aux services de base de santé et d'éducation. À cette date et à cette perspective, la Guinée devrait respecter les 4 critères de premier rang et les 2 critères de second rang. La Guinée, dans les discussions à venir de la présente réunion, réservera ses commentaires sur des points précis lors des discussions que nous allons avoir tout à l'heure. Je vous remercie pour votre aimable attention.
Thank you very much for those comments. We'll now, as protocol dictates, call on the governor of the Central Bank of Liberia. I need to look on the side to see whether my AI agrees with me. The governor of the Central Bank of Liberia to formally declare this session open.
Honorable Chairman of the Committee of Governors, esteemed members of the Committee of Governors, Director Generals of WAMI, WAMA, and WAIFEM, the Governor of Besiao, the representative of the President of the ECOWAS Commission, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, by the power in me vested as the host governor for this Joint Committee of Governors meeting of WAMA, WAMI, and WAIFEM, I will now declare these proceedings formally open. Thank you.
Thank you. Now that the governor has declared this formally open, I have 1 or 2 announcements here. Next on the program is a group photo, which will be taken outside. The ushers will direct us exactly where that will take place. And after that, there will be a tea break, which will last
So folks, we want to say thank you for watching. We are now
after the
going
tea
out
break,
to
the
a group photo. This is Vision on TV coming to you live. FARMINGTON Hotel, where we brought this live coverage on Liberia. Welcome to West Africa to Liberia. So we want to say thank you for watching and have yourself